Welcome, Nicola Menage here. I'm a motivational hypnotherapist and I want to talk to you today on the powerful art of forgiveness. Now, we're hurtling rapidly, aren't we, towards the end of 2009, and traditionally we start to look at the year that's just gone past, looking at our achievements and the ups and downs of the year. And also we start to look forward, don't we, I always do, to the next year. What's going to happen? It's like a fresh clean slate, all the new things that we're going to achieve. Now, it's essential not to take old baggage, old stuff through to the new year. How wonderful just to set all that free and feel much more at peace, to feel more light-hearted. So in this video pod, we are going to look at the art of forgiveness. We're going to look at what is forgiveness, why forgive, and also how to forgive. So what is forgiveness? Well, forgiveness is to pardon an act, a wrongdoing that perhaps has happened to you, and whether it's deliberate or perhaps it was a misunderstanding or an accident. But actually what it does is it causes the person distress, hurt, and leaves them in pain. So why? Why forgive? Well, actually, I'd say why not forgive? It's great to forgive, and it means that you can stop all that ongoing chuntering away in your head of, going over and over what that person said and what they did and what the effects were. And it actually gets bigger and bigger. The more we focus on it, the event gets bigger and out of all proportion. So if we forgive, we can move on. And a great example of this is a client I had a few years ago. She was a very successful solicitor, and she came to me. She was quite bitter, quite angry actually, and very sort of cross. And it turned out her husband had left her 30 years ago, leaving her with 2 small children. So she was very self-determined and carried on. She was just training to be a solicitor at the time, carried on and developed her own practice. But what she failed to do was to forgive her husband for the act. And it actually, as I said, made her very bitter and twisted, and she failed to keep long-term relationships. She didn't really have any close friends, and life actually wasn't too good for her. So after a few sessions, we carried out the forgiveness technique, and I always carry this out while people are in hypnosis, and it really kind of hits the spot very nicely. So we did that, and that was good, and we had another couple of sessions, and then she moved on. And I actually caught up with her a couple of years later at a conference, and a different person. She looked fantastic, she was glowing, much more light-hearted, really happy. She'd been seeing somebody, a steady relationship that was very fulfilling, and life actually was just really going well for her. So how do we do forgiveness? How do we carry out the forgiveness technique? Now, the key thing to remember about forgiveness is that you can have an experience, but you are not the experience. You can move on from it. And also, you don't give forgiveness justification. It doesn't. If you give it justification, then it's not true forgiveness. So I'll give you an example of this. So if I was to say, I forgive my boss for giving me the sack because he was a mean, cold, nasty bastard. Well, actually, that's not true forgiveness. This is forgiveness. I forgive my boss for giving me the sack. And the key thing to remember is that you're not forgiving the person, but you're forgiving the act, the deed. You're letting go of that emotion. You're taking the sting out of the tail. It's all about a shift in your perception. So if those of you that know how to zap, go in and out of self-hypnosis, all you simply do is, for this technique, is take yourself into hypnosis. And those of you that don't know how to do self-hypnosis, you just stand in front of a mirror and you repeat the statement in or out of hypnosis several times, up to 20 times if not more. And you carry on until the statement just flows. It doesn't kind of stick in your chest or your throat. So we'll just do a couple of, just show you a couple of examples. I forgive my boss for giving me the sack. I forgive my boss for giving me the sack. And you just carry on until it feels much easier. So really, just shift your perception and set yourself free. Move into 2010 without all that baggage. Thank you ever so much for listening, and I really do want to wish you a very happy, healthy and successful 2010. And if you have any questions or comments, please email me. I love receiving your emails. It's nicola@nicolamenage.co.uk. And once again, thank you very much.